Okay, so we're here talking with Mike Murray, who put on one of our performers today. Put on a great performance, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a great crowd.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, my background is just like as you heard in my set. I was deaf until I was 40 years old. And then I had the cochlear implants put in both ears, and now I can hear. And at 45, I stepped on stage for the first time. So, and I've been doing shows all across America since. I started a company called Funny for Funds, Comedy Night Fundraisers. We now have 13 branches along the East Coast. We raise money for all types of causes. And in the last 6 years, we have helped raise $6.5 million for groups and causes, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that.
Who you partnered with another comic on that?
Well, I got about 200 comics in stable, and we work a lot with John Perrotta. John books me a lot. We book him a lot. Sure. So it's a really good collaboration between comics because he has he's such a strong foothold in Rhode Island comedy. So we get a lot of talent from John too, and John works for us, and crowds love him, as you know. And so it's really rare that you see two comedy bookers working together. And that's the beautiful part about working with John Perrotta. That egos take a backseat to talent. So he knows that I'm going to come to do a show, and you know, I'm going to just be professional, you know, and put on a good show for him. So it's pretty cool like that. As opposed to some comedian bookers, they like territories.
Sure.
You know. So, but John is the best.
You know, I really think it's amazing, and I really commend you that you had a lifelong disability. And when you got rid of that disability, you used it to your advantage to
Absolutely.
launch a whole new career.
And I don't think I would have had much of an act till I got my hearing. I always loved to make people laugh. When I used to learn like street jokes, and I couldn't have a conversation, but I could control a conversation just by telling a good street joke. And so when I got my hearing, it never stopped me being hearing impaired. I did a lot of things. I started businesses. It never held me back from doing anything, but I did have limitations. Then when I got my hearing, it was like nothing can stop me, and it's been amazing since.
And 100% of your act is your life, which is great.
And it's all clearly it's all true stuff, exaggerated. It's all exaggerated, but everything there happened. My mother-in-law did say that. To me. So, and you make a joke about it. So that's what a joke is, basically bringing everybody's life has a lot of funny in it. And if you can just verbalize it and deliver it to an audience that are full of strangers, that's comedy, and you got it made if you can do that.
As someone with a background in corporate training and stand-up speaking, one of the things I admired about your act was you have the great body language.
Thank you. And, one of my favorite comics is Sebastian Maniscalco, and if you watch him, it's all body language. If you just listen to his audio of his set, you're like, You watch his show, you never stop laughing. So I kind of like draw some inspiration from him, and with facial expressions and body language, rather than just stand
One last comment on that: you almost have Marty Feldman's eyes.
Oh no, that's not a good compliment, people. You hear that, Joe? He just called me Marty Feldman.
I said he had Marty Feldman's eyes.
I would have settled for Rodney Dangerfield's eyes, not Feldman's eyes.
Okay, Rodney Dangerfield.
There we go. See, that's much better.
I just didn't give you no respect.
Now, see, and that's a great interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good talking to you, Mike.
Awesome. It was great working with you guys. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for supporting live comedy. It was a good time.
Okay, we're talking with Rockin' Joe Hebert, who put on a great show here this afternoon. Not only comedy, but music as well. So double entertainment, double the value for the money.
Yeah, but same money. Same money. I didn't get paid any extra for pulling out that guitar.
Well, we got double the entertainment.
I'm glad you did.
So tell us about your background. What got you into comedy?
It was the weirdest thing. I wanted to be a rock star. I explained it on stage. I was in a bunch of bands, and I knew I didn't have any vocal talent or any guitar talent. So by the time I was 18, I decided to become a comedian. I wrote a couple of songs, a couple of parody songs, and they were on WHJY back in the day with Carolyn Fox. I'm going back to 1985. I had written a song about Klaus von Bülow. Yeah, I know. I know. After the song "Sunny" by Bobby Hebb from the '60s, and it became an instant hit. Howard Stern was playing it, Imus was playing it, HJY was playing it, and a bunch of stations in Boston were playing it. And it was a song. Let's say it was in very poor taste, but it was the start of my career. So after a few more tasteless songs, I got completely banned from the radio, and I had no choice but to take my outlet somewhere else. So I started doing comedy clubs.
Where do you get most of your material from?
My wife, married 28 years, she's a laugh a minute. Yeah, we don't love each other, but if we divorced, I'd be out of material in a heartbeat. You know,
And how about your songs? What inspires you, like the one today about the child molesters in the neighborhood?
the sex offender song, it came from watching Sesame Street. That's true. My wife was babysitting my niece, and the People in Your Neighborhood song was on, and the little kids singing along with it. And I'm thinking to myself, and all I could think of was, there's a sex offender in your neighborhood. And I'm thinking, that's it. I'm going to do it. So,
Good. Well, Joe, thanks for talking with us.
thanks for having me. I appreciate
Good luck with the rest of your career. Look forward to seeing you
I
again.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, now we're talking with Bob Anderson, who put on a great show, great performance this afternoon. John, thank you very much. It was well appreciated, the entertainment. What got you into comedy?
I guess growing up as a kid, learning how to get along with people on the street. I found if you make people laugh, they tend to be a little easier to be around. So I've just always done it. And then a friend of mine mentioned John when he started a comedy school. And I joined up with that. And I've been with John ever since doing all kinds of comedy. So I love to make people laugh.
When you say ever since, how long has it been?
I've been with John now about 5 years. So it's all still new. You still learn, but it's still fun.
How many venues have you performed in?
Oh, I've been all over Rhode Island. I've been in so many different, I couldn't even tell you, 20, 30, 40. It's just, you'd lose track.
Any outside of Rhode Island?
I did a campground in Connecticut. That was a little different. And I've done a few clubs outside of Rhode Island and Mass. So if they book me for it, then I go.
Where do you get your inspiration for your material?
My life. Every day, minute of my life. As everyone says, as friends and family, you got to be careful what happens around me because it may end up on stage. Because that's all it is. My comedy, I don't have a routine. Most comics have a set time so they know what they're going to talk about. Most comics goof with me because they say, Bob, every show you do is new. And I say that's because every time I get on stage, I'm nervous. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I just start talking. I tend to read the crowd. So if they're laughing, I'm laughing. So I stay in that area. So,
Any upcoming shows?
we have quite a few coming up. You got the Boomerangs Roadhouse, which is in April 2nd. You got Saturday, April 23rd, the dinner and comedy show at the Inn. Again, you got another comedy show on March 19th at the Inn. Spumoni's is coming up March 6th. So you'll get to see a lot of great comics in there. I mean, everyone I work with, they're great comics. Oh, I'll hold it right up for you so you can get a shot of it. But they're all a great bunch. I mean, you look at guys like Mike Murray and Bill Simus, who are always together with the Funny for Funds, great bunch of guys. And now they got making sure somebody tells you, if you haven't, you watch the news, they're going to be opening a comedy club in Cranston. So that's going to be awesome for a chance for comics to go up there and hang out more and more comedy available to people because that's really what we need. I mean, all of us just want to laugh, have a good time. The pandemic closed down so many people and so many homes, and we've all gone through too much. So I think comedy is a good way to just get out and vent and laugh about it again. Laugh at ourselves and just have a good time.
Growing up, who were your favorite comedians?
Oh, good Lord. Well, George Collins, a god. God rest his soul. Sam Kinison was amazing. Eddie Murphy Delirious still stands as the greatest comic I've ever seen. Then you have all the greats, Richard Pryor, you have Bob Hope, who was always good at doing little skits. The BBC, I used to like to watch Benny Hill and all them guys. I grew up with my dad watching them all, so I'd have you here all day if I kept naming them all. There's so many of them. They're like baseball cards to me. You know, I collect them in my head, fall in love with them. You know, I don't play sports. Comedy is my sport.
Good, great. Bob, thanks for talking with us. Great show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look forward to hearing you again.